Hello, my name is Donnie Piercey. I'm a fifth grade teacher from Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm the 2021 Kentucky State Teacher of the Year. One of the big things that you can't ignore has happened not just in education, but in all sorts of fields. It's just the rise of artificial intelligence. Not in like a Skynet kind of way, but the fact that we're learning more and more about how artificial intelligence or AI is going to start to play a pretty significant impact on not just the classroom, but also all sorts of fields, whether it be, doctors, lawyers, even screenwriters, right? So as a classroom teacher, it's really important that not only I stay on top of what some of these tools are, but what are some of the ways that I can use artificial intelligence to, well, better myself as a teacher, which ultimately will help and benefit my students' learning. So yes, as a classroom teacher, you can use an app like ChatGPT or Google Bard to say, hey, can you write me a lesson plan about this? Or I'm not going to be at school tomorrow. Come up with a sub-plan for a unit on fractions. Very simple, spits it out. You can copy and paste that text. And I feel like those are all important things that I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of months we start to see apps and tools that are all designed around that as a way to save teachers time. However, one of the things that I'm big on, and I've got a book coming out at the end of July about called 50 Strategies for Integrating Artificial Intelligence in the Classroom, is figuring out, well, how can we as teachers use AI to actually benefit our classrooms? What does an artificial intelligence lesson look like? Simple example. As a fifth grade teacher, one of the most important standards that I feel that I teach is speaking and listening, giving my students as fifth graders, 10, 11-year-old kids, an opportunity to stand up and present and, well, learn how to talk in front of others. I mean, we all remember when we were in school, we had to give those speeches, maybe the Gettysburg Address, maybe we had to like memorize the preambles of the Constitution. And yeah, none of us liked it when we had to do it, but that was kind of how we practice our speaking and listening skills. Well, one activity that I do with my students, I call it playwriting, PL-AI. It's a terrible pun. Sorry, I'm a dad. I just have to roll with it. But here's how it works. Jumped in the chat GPT and I told it, hey, write the first script of a 3-scene play. And then I'd ask my students, I'd say, hey, who wants to be in the play? And 4 or 5 of them raised their hand. And so in the little prompt that I typed into the AI, I would say, hey, in the play, include the following students. And I would just type their names in. Then I'd ask the class, well, what do you want to happen in the first scene of the play? And sometimes they say silly stuff like, oh, an alien shows up. Sometimes they say the teacher runs out of the room. But whatever they say, almost like Mad Libs, I'll type it into the prompt. To tie it back to content, I'll say, well, what do you want the theme of this play that we're going to write and perform to be? And sometimes they say family, sometimes friendship, or sometimes it might just be the theme that we were reading in the book the previous day. So type that all in, I'll press enter, and in seconds, it writes the play. And at that moment, I'll call those students up. I said, all right, we're going to perform this play live. And they'll read it, they'll perform it. Sometimes it's really silly because, this is the first time this thing's ever been written, but the students love it. And even that most timid kid in my classroom, that one who, barely says 2 words out loud all year, just there's something about this unique chance to stand up and present something that's never been written before, really helps them come out of their shell. But here's the thing, that's not how the project ends because that's just the first scene. So then what I do is I just copy that whole scene. I'll throw it onto a Google Doc and I'll share that scene with my class. I'll give them each their own copy of it. And I'll let them know, hey, this play is now yours. How does this play end? And I'll throw it in collaborative groups. I'll give those students a chance to write their own ending to the play. And then at that moment, they really personalize it. So after we do the whole class model, the students in groups can then personalize it. And one of the fun things we do at the end of the week is the students stand up and actually present their own unique version of the play. So it's a unique way to incorporate artificial intelligence, tie it back to content, but also give students an opportunity to personalize the experience.